right, it's a brand new week. Welcome to the conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bello.
Brand new week indeed. I am Ajibola Ojishola. How was your weekend? We are glad to be back.
Good morning, everyone. I am Adebinkwe Omotayo.
Abimbola, how was your weekend? Sanitation on Saturday, Anthony Joshua, Commonwealth Games. You know, it was a busy weekend.
Sanitation. Thank God that at least it ended at 8:30. And I guess, you know, it always gives people the ample opportunity to move around after 8:30. Anthony Joshua, second round, he knocked out his opponent. Commonwealth Games I haven't really followed like I should follow. Then I think a lot of people also complained about the ladies. That's to WAFCON, their attire. Bature, what? The way Bature just hissed. Was it fashion went wrong or what?
Oh my God.
Because me, I just saw green and white.
It was fashion
kaftan.
upside down.
Oh,
it was fashion upside down.
Cute.
And for Anthony Joshua, Abimbola, I think...
was it really a fight?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I think Anthony Joshua should start modeling or he should look for something else because...
Besides boxing.
You know, he kicked the canvas twice and against somebody that...
Had no name.
I don't know.
Well, I think maybe it's just to stay relevant, especially after the loss of, you know, his two friends. I guess it was just a way to make himself feel good that I'm still a boxer, and then just mark the time. Perhaps maybe he would go into retirement very soon, but it's just to keep marking the calendar and to stay relevant as a boxer. Other than that, I'm not sure there's really much.
And as for the sanitation exercise, I think the state government will still need to do more of reorientating Lagosians. The compliance level was low, and then people were acting like nothing was happening. Some were playing football, commercial vehicles moving here and there. And
some arrests were made. And
what?
I said some arrests were made. Because even though there was no movement restriction.
Even though there is no restriction on movement, government still, you know, would ask the people to stay at home and keep their environments clean, keep their surroundings clean. But you know, people, once there's a window to behave like we always behave, people would always take advantage of the situation. And as it stands, government can really not do much because you remember that the reason why it was cancelled in the first place was because there was a court case. Court case. I'm sure government also do not want to tour that path anymore so that, you know, there won't be another institution of another court case. We just need to do a little bit of more awareness and just continue to let the people know that it pays to keep your surroundings clean. But again, I would always say it is not just about the people. Government also has a role to play.
Sure.
And that is the fact that when the people stay at home, when they clean their surroundings, when they pack their refuse, how quick are we evacuating these refuse? In my estate, the PSP operator hasn't visited in 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
It's becoming annoying because the rate at which these big flies are just dancing around the bin, and you know, I don't even want to think about it. So as much as we'll continue to call out the people, government also needs to play that role of you know, creating that environment for the PSP operators to function, for the law enforcement officers to function. Government is a regulator. Government needs to step up on that part of regulating adequately.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. How was your weekend, Adebinkwe?
Should I let the cat out of the bag?
Hey, you know
I saw Adebinkwe on Saturday looking.
Gang.
You know my own from Friday. I was over ready.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I couldn't attend that one because of the traffic.
But you attended the one on Saturday.
You made up for that.
Of course I did, because you saw me. Yes, I did.
Okay. We need to run. Time is fast spent. Let's quickly go to a news point briefly. this morning. Ajibola, let's start with you.
Okay, we're starting with politics. Opposition splits over single candidate to challenge Tinubu in 2027. The opposition's plan to unite behind a single presidential candidate against President Bola Tinubu in 2027 election may be losing momentum, with key opposition factions and parties adopting different positions on the proposed arrangement. Although the Tamino Turaki-led faction of the PDP keeps the possibility open, the Nyesom Wike-backed PDP faction ruled out any alliance. Also, the camp of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar affirmed that the opposition parties have already produced their candidates but remain committed to working together. However, the APC dismissed the proposal by the opposition parties as incapable of stopping the presidential re-election bid of Bola Tinubu. On April 25th, opposition political leaders gathered at the summit in Oyo State, where they resolved to work together ahead of the 2027 general election and explore the possibility of presenting a single presidential candidate to challenge Tinubu. Among the party leaders said to have signed the communique were former Senate President David Mack, Akim Baba Ahmed of the PRP, Juji Ahmed of the New People's Party, and a host of other political opposition parties in the country. So let's just leave it there. 2027 presidential election gathering momentum, and the opposition are trying to put their house in order, all in a bid to get elected as the president of the country come 2027. But from the feelers that we are getting, according to this story, things are not working the way they want it to work. And, you know, politicians, they will always fight for their interests. Instead of seeing things the other way, it appears things are falling apart, and the center can no longer hold for them.
Well, everybody wants to be president. Nobody really wants to, you know, pledge
of this Nigeria too.
Yes, of this Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes, you know, everybody wants to be president. Everybody wants to fix Nigeria in 4 years, and everybody feels that, you know, it is their turn to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So they all want to go to the polls in 2027 and challenge Mr. President. Let's see how far this will go. Let's move on by taking the second story this morning. FG earmarks nearly 1 trillion naira for SUVs empowerment amid borrowing pressure. The federal government has earmarked 962.83 billion naira for the procurement of sports utility vehicles and empowerment projects in the 2026 Appropriation Act, an amount that exceeds the combined allocations to 7 key federal ministries, according to a review of the budget by civic technology organization Tracker. In its analysis of the 2026 FG budget, Tracker said the allocation comprised 15.13 billion naira for the procurement of 39 SUVs and 947.07 billion naira for 2,579 empowerment projects, bringing the total to 962.83 billion naira. The civic organization noted that the amount surpassed the combined 960.27 billion naira appropriated to the federal ministries of Industry, Trade and Investment, Housing and Urban Development, Women Affairs, Justice, Livestock Development, Aviation and Aerospace Development, and Petroleum Resources. According to the group, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment received 156.8 billion naira in the 2026 budget, Housing 145.3 billion, Women Affairs 169.39 billion, Justice 150.7 billion, Livestock Development 177.6 billion, Aviation 87.3 billion, while Petroleum Resources was allocated 73.1 billion naira. Tracker expressed concern over what it described as a lack of transparency surrounding many of the empowerment projects. I'll leave it here this morning because, of course, when you read things like this, you shudder and you wonder what exactly is going on. This is a huge sum of money dedicated to SUVs and empowerment when, you know, the bulk of the people are still living beyond, below the poverty level. And again, we're still borrowing. So if we have such an amount of money that can be earmarked to projects, the hitherto may not see the light of day, or for SUVs to be distributed to politicians, and yet we'll go borrowing, it means there's a problem somewhere.
Absolutely, I do agree with Abimbola. There's a problem somewhere with our thinking, with our orientation, with our spendings. And then the other day I also saw on the front page of a daily saying that the federal government is planning to spend billions to renovate the palaces of traditional rulers. What are the priorities of this government?
Campaign promise.
Should that even be the role of the federal government? Should that?
Then must we play politics with everything? Here you have Nigerians suffering. Some can hardly cope with the cost of living in Nigeria. And here you are spending trillions of naira to buy SUVs, to renovate palaces of traditional rulers. And you are telling Nigerians to tighten their belts. The mathematics for me is not adding up. And the essence of government is the welfare and security of the people.
Absolutely.
Is this government bothered about the welfare of the people at all? You are slapping us and you are showing us that, hey, no, I'm slapping you, there's nothing you can do.
You're slapping us and you're telling us not to cry. That is just...
Well, you have your PVC, 2027 is here. If you like, collect money. If you like, vote according to your conscience. The ball is in your court.
Some people will collect SUV.
Well.
And they will renovate their palaces. So...
I don't think let's take your story.
NICOM NIA-backed Lagos Building Insurance Scheme. The National Insurance Commission has thrown its weight behind the newly launched Lagos State Building Insurance Scheme, pledging to provide the regulatory framework needed for its effective implementation. Speaking at the official unveiling of the initiative in Lagos, the Commissioner for Insurance and Chief Executive Officer of NICOM, Olusegun Omoseyin, describes the program as a significant milestone in improving insurance penetration, strengthening consumer protection, and enhancing risk management across Nigeria. According to the News Agency of Nigeria, he was represented at the event by the Deputy Commissioner for Insurance, Finance and Administration, Ekeretegam Ekon. Omoseyin said the scheme would provide financial protection for owners and occupants of buildings against losses caused by fire, flooding, and structural collapse. He said the increasing incidence of building failures in different parts of the country has highlighted the urgent need to enforce compulsory building insurance to safeguard lives, property, and livelihoods. He noted that insurance plays a critical role in helping individuals, businesses, and governments recover quickly after disasters, reducing the financial burden that often follows such incidents. Yeah, good initiative by the Lagos State government. But really, how many people still believe in these insurance companies? There's usually delays. Sometimes they don't even get their claims until even 5 to 8 years after these disasters. I think that should be worked upon, not just coming up with insurance scheme.
Well, you've said that. Of course, it's a welcome development, and now that the Lagos State government will definitely back this up, NICOM is giving it the bite, at least the federal bite, that it deserves. Let's see how this will work out at the end of the day. Let's quickly go to the X platform this morning to take a look at one of the many trending stories there. Of course, our friend Mr. Peter Obi is trending this morning. Yesterday, he was on a program on Channels Television speaking to Seun Okinbaloye. And one of the things he said during that very long interview was that Mr. President should resign and go and take a rest, since he seemed tired and unable to attend to many issues of Nigeria. Lady and gentlemen, what sayest thou?
As usual, Peter Obi in the interview was just playing to the gallery. He did highlight some of the challenges confronting the country, and then I was expecting
solutions.
Solutions.
His solution is I'll spend 4 years.
If indeed you are coming to come and rescue the nation, then you should provide solutions. What are the things that this government is doing wrong, and what are the solutions that will move the country forward? And whether you like it or not, it's not been totally bad. There are some reforms that is putting the country on the right path. As an opposition that is responsible, I would have expected Mr. Peter Obi to at least commend some of the innovations of this government instead of just criticizing everything all the time. What were your records as governor of Anambra State?
During the interview, when he was asked that, you have said it before that you have a solution to
some of the problems.
Power supply, the power sector was mentioned. And he said no, he didn't. He never said that.
Yeah, so they've asked him now, what would you do differently?
No, he cannot solve power in 4 years. It's something that can.
It has to be ongoing. And yet he wants to spend 4 years.
And he wants to spend 4 years. I said, this
Maybe
man,
power is not part of what he can solve in 4 years.
I don't know.
At some point, I just got tired of the interview
Yes,
because honestly,
it was long.
I just couldn't make.
They asked him again, did you build any? Why didn't you build school? Or did you build school when he was governor? He said he cleared grass. I did more than building schools. I said, okay, let's hear this. I cleared the grass from the scratch.
The grass.
Yes.
The grass.
And he built.
Is he okay?
He's very okay.
What are they asking you? What are you saying?
He laid the foundation.
If he cannot fix a state, how would you fix a country?
Has he even fixed himself? Did you see the way he was answering questions yesterday? I was afraid though.
I feel Mr. Peter Obi should also embrace, should diversify and embrace Nollywood, maybe.
You want him to come and join you?
Yes. Coming for years.
Yes, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
A bit of acting in some of his interviews.
Are you making a casting call?
Are
you making a casting call?
We'll find a role for his voice.
To find a role for me.
Why didn't Kenneth Okonkwo find him a role? You people should let us go. We need to take a break. When we return on the conversation, part 1 of the conversation will be here. And this morning we're taking a look at one of the many reforms that many, especially security experts, have welcomed as one that will definitely put the security architecture of Nigeria on the positives. Our guest this morning will help us shed more light on this.